I'm Martha. Welcome to my sewing studio. Today I'm going to be organizing my stash. Well, some of my stash. I have a large fabric stash, a very large trim stash. I own a lot of patterns, interfacing, notions, sequins. I own a lot of sequins. My point is, I'm a stash person, and I know this can be polarizing. Some people keep a large stash of supplies, some people keep none. Most people are probably somewhere in the middle, and honestly, I would consider myself in the middle. A lot of people have a much larger stash than I do. I attach no judgment to your stash size, but I know some people do. I have a new piece of furniture here in my sewing studio. I got it at my local Habitat for Humanity restore, and I've been looking for like 2 years for a piece of furniture that would fit up the stairs to get up here and will fit with my funny low ceiling situation. I wanted a cabinet with a glass front where I could store my fabric. I currently keep my fabric in bins. I have moved a lot of times internationally, twice. I've been in and out of storage units, in and out of apartments and rental houses. There's been a lot of moving, and we have now lived in this house for 2 years and everything is still in the bins. I think my fabric is very safe in these plastic bins, but they're not visually appealing. So I wanted to get them into my glass front cabinet. Today I want to go through my cotton bin. I have printed cottons, woven, non-stretch. That is my biggest bin of fabric, and that is the fabric that I want to put in this cabinet first. I think it will be sort of the most featured. I'd also like to put linens in there, and then my bottom and jacket weight fabrics. Those are just like at the bottom, and I don't really see them very often. And I find if I don't see it, I don't know I can sew it. That's the same with some of my denim cuts. Because denim is like physically heavy, I tend to put it at the bottom bins, and then I don't know I have it. Maybe let's just get in there. Okay, here's my fabric stash. Most of it. I do have some things in bins, like my quilting cotton and scraps are kept in a separate area, but otherwise everything is here. This is 4 bins high, 3 bins high, 2. Very nice. And some of these are textiles that I made when I was in design school. I have a BFA in textiles, and so I have machine knit, hand woven, jacquard woven. I have like, you name it, I have a fabric that I made and they're in that bin. And I actually would like to use some of those fabrics. I have some that I hand screen printed, and I would just really like to put those into use. Side note, I always get questions about a tour of the studio, and I would love to give you a tour of my studio, but I don't know how granular you want me to get. So please, if that interests you, leave me a comment and let me know, like, do you want to know what's inside of the boxes and drawers? Like, how much do you want to see? Because we could get very detailed and have a longer video, or we could have a few videos that are like, here's how I do trims, here's how I do notions, here's how I do hardware, how do I even categorize those things? And those could be broken into separate videos, or again, all one long one. What would you prefer? I would love to know. Okay, so this is my favorite kind of fabric to sew, but I don't necessarily wear prints as psychedelic as what are in my collection. I worked as a printed textile designer in the fashion industry for a long time, so I really know all that goes into a printed textile, and as a result, I really love collecting them. So this is the one category where I allow myself a personal collection aspect in addition to, like, I want to wear this. I think things like this silk bin, these are things I want to wear, and I basically consider this like, let's say I had a wedding to attend and I needed a dress, I would go in here and I would make one of these. That's kind of how I view this bin. And then like my linen bin, I don't know, linen straightforward. You want a linen top, you want some linen pants, dive in there. Straightforward. But the cotton, it is a little bit more like, does this print suit my vibe? Does it want to be pajamas or does it want to be a dress? You know, that I feel like there's a little more thought and care that goes into selecting my using of these. So some of them I just want to own, and I allow myself that. Here she is, my beautiful new cabinet. I'm obsessed. And honestly, this is the darkest corner of my studio, so it is a good place for fabric storage. It doesn't quite close because somebody painted this without sanding it. So I will eventually be sanding that down. I do want to repaint the whole thing because it's in like chalk paint, which has this like texture that I think is gross. When I repaint it, I think I might stick with this color scheme and just punch it up a notch in saturation. And I also think it would be really fun to add more wood appliques. By the way, this contains all my seed beads, all my sequins, elastic on rolls. This one's empty. These are different sequins and beads divided by projects that I have planned in advance, and then some technique samples that have not yet made it into my technique sample books. Let's put fabric in here. I think a lot's gonna fit. Ooh, fabric is so heavy. Okay, It's interesting. I can really remember like when I bought myself stuff. When we lived in Glasgow, Scotland, the day that the stay-at-home orders ended, like COVID restrictions, stay-at-home orders, was my birthday. And so I went shopping that day in person and I bought myself these 2 cuts of Liberty Tanalon, and they're like so fun and groovy, and I really wanted to make a dress that comboed them, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I don't know, it might be nice to like make myself a birthday dress for a future birthday. I have a lot of Liberty Tanalon and I get all of it for bargains. I'm a real bargain hunter with it. I know it can be expensive. Personally, I don't want to pay full price for it because I just don't think you have to. Ooh, cotton silk voile. I actually have made myself pants and a jacket out of this fabric, and I bought more because I wanted to make a dress. I didn't know I had this. Oh my God, now I really want to sew with that. Okay. These fabrics are gorgeous. They're from Storrs of London. I'm going to put a link in my description box for these because I feel like not enough people know of this brand. It is the finest cotton. It is a lawn. I would say it's comparable to Liberty Tanalon, but I find it slightly silkier. Like, I think it is the finest of all the cotton lawns in all the land. And I love the prints because they're large scale. Some of them are really groovy. This one's also Storrs of London. Like, can you even? God, they're really, really nice fabric. I bought this in Glasgow when, what is that fabric store called? Remnant Kings was going out of business. This was like, I think like £2 per meter. And it would be a really cute little set. I don't really like wearing gingham. I've tried so hard to like wearing gingham and like, I don't. It's kind of funny to say that while wearing this because it's definitely gingham adjacent. But I can handle a print like this wearing gingham. Like, I don't know, it feels very sweet. And I think I do dress in a sweet way a lot of the time, but like, I bought this fabric when I was 20. That was a long time ago. It's, I worked at a quilt shop. I love it just as much as I did then. I do. I remember I found the bolt when I was like organizing and I just bought whatever was on the bolt. It's not very much. It's like a little over a yard and I'm precious with it. I haven't been able to use it yet, but I would love to use it. Okay. Ooh, here are some of my vintage cheater cloth fabrics. I actually think I can start moving stuff into there. This bin is amazing. This is a fabric I bought in Paris with my friend Susan. Oh my God, what a great memory, and also a beautiful fabric. Oh, I wove this. This is a blanket I wove, oh, I don't know, 20 years ago. It's falling apart. Needs some mending, and actually I was thinking of making it into pillows. I don't know if this should be in the bin. We're gonna move that. Chintz. Same. Tablecloth I've owned since college. This is from my grandmother's stash. I have a few pieces from my grandma's stash. Those are very emotional for me. Here's a secondary piece of the same one. Now I'm gonna shut up and fill this cabinet and we can talk about it a little bit once I've got stuff in there. Okay, I've made good progress and I'm gonna take a break because I need to refold some stuff. You can see I'm getting some like crooked piles. I don't need this to be perfectly orderly, but you know, it's nice if it kind of like stays put. I've seen several fabrics that I forgot I had because they've been in the bins. Now it's like very accessible to me, even the stuff off to the sides. I can really see it very well. I have a lot here that, you know, I really can use and I haven't thought of it at all because it's been in the bin. So this is a good reminder to myself that I really do better when I can see my fabrics, you know, take myself shopping in my stash. So like I said, I'm gonna take a break and then we'll come back. I have filled it up and I'm so happy. Going through my fabrics, I found so many fabrics that I legitimately forgot I owned. I had no memory of them at all. And it's like I said earlier, I need to see it to know I can sew it. This top row is my cotton lawns and cotton gauzes, anything sort of similar, lightweight. I've got Swiss Dot, some Oxford, that type of stuff. Some of these are just sort of decor. They're here in the permanent collection. Maybe I'll use them, maybe I won't, and that's okay. And then over here in this corner you can't see, I put all of my black fabric. I like it because I can see it easily, and there are a few pieces here I'm going to sew soon. They don't cause like a black hole visually. This row I have brocades, home deck fabric, and then this is a real mix, but let's see, denim eyelets, linen, and then this is just white fabric. So I have everything from denim to like a very, very sheer gauze, but I love sewing white. I think you can see that from my previous videos. I can kind of come here and see what's available and just grab one. Down here I have denim and corduroy. This stack, I'll be honest, these are fabrics I don't think I'll ever sew. I do have ideas for all of them. Like each one of these, I have a project that I've thought of for it, but when I'm being realistic with myself, they're never gonna be prioritized. So they're here as a reminder to myself, but I don't feel any pressure about it. And then everything over here is linen, except for these two cuts, and these are gorgeous fabrics I want to sew this fall. So I put them here so I won't forget them because I forgot I had this one. It's like a sheer organza with a big polka dot on it, and then this is a metallic brocade. So don't want to forget those. But there we go. I'm so pleased. I can see everything really easily. It's safe in here. It's off the ground. I don't think it's gonna get too much light. All right, here's the rest of my stash. This definitely needs some reorganization and some beautification. Maybe one day there will be a piece of furniture here or a curtain to conceal it. I don't know, I have a few ideas, but when it comes to this room, I'm never in a rush. I think the right pieces of furniture will find me. My ways of organizing for myself will find me, and everything takes time. I think we're very much in a world of like watching a 30-second video of someone renovating a room in their home. And for me, that's not the case. It's always gonna take a couple of years, and living in the space and working in the space and really assessing my own needs in the space. And then the sort of visual and decoration follows that. So everything's very functional. These bins remain functional, but they're not beautiful. So I'll probably consolidate them a little bit. I might make a video showing you my silks because I think this is a special collection. I have a lot of silks I've owned for a long time, special bargains, just a lot of good stuff in there. Everything else over here is largely functional. Like this bin is just lining fabrics. Like I don't enjoy owning a bin of lining fabrics, but I also know when I'm sewing something and I need a lining, I've got it. So certain things you just need for function, and that's part of having a stash. I'm gonna leave it there for today. I know this video was a little bit different, but it really was what I was doing in my sewing studio this week. So I wanted to invite you in for that. Do let me know about a studio tour and what you'd like to see. And please like and subscribe. I will be sewing in my next video. Actually, my next few. I have some good ideas going, and I'm almost done with a big project, which will free up a lot of time and space and mental energy for me so I can sew more creatively once that's wrapped up. Thanks so much for joining me on this little tour of my stash. Hopefully it'll be a little more tidy next time you see it, and I will see you next week. Bye.